Here with the Sean Kiracofe as Lady Demons get back to work this week after a tough and challenging week, not even just with the volleyball. It was a tough week for all of Northwestern State last week with what happened on Thursday, and of course our continued thoughts and prayers go out to the Caldwell family as they walk through this unspeakable stuff. You can't even imagine going through that, but we do still have to play and kind of move forward as best we can, and that's, I think, a good thing for this week as we try to move forward and put those matches last week behind us. Good performance on Saturday against Southeastern, but opportunity this week to kind of get back on track a little bit.
Yeah, we had moments in the first and the second, and then just stood in our own way on Saturday. So looking forward to getting back on the court and still trying to adjust and find a new lineup right now because of injuries, which has not been the easiest thing, but it never is. And especially after we've kind of established a good group that we know that can compete with everybody. So to try to have to shuffle that up has been difficult, but everyone has to do it at some point.
We've kind of touched on this sporadically throughout the season, especially during those 5-set matches that we played a couple weeks ago, is the ability for us to finish plays, specifically offensively. And it seemed like that came back to hurt us over the last few matches, not just this past weekend, but how do you work towards being a little bit more consistent in that specific area of finishing plays, especially maybe even late in sets?
I think we said after one of the matches that we've got some drills and some situations that we put them in to where you either have to execute or you lose, and it can be, it's a normal game time situation, but if you make a certain type of error, then it's over. You just automatically lose, and so we just put them in those situations and hope that they can gain some comfort level about still being aggressive, but smart, and knowing when and where you can potentially make some errors and when you can't, and just hope that carries over to matches. But I mean, there is no perfect answer. And again, I mean, in replacing Tessa is difficult because she played a huge role offensively and defensively. And while it wasn't her out there doing everything for us when we were winning matches against tough people, it provides something for that other team to have to respect, which makes it a little bit easier for everybody else. And so our offense had been spread out pretty well across the board, and to take a big piece away just allows somebody else's defense to go, well, we can focus over here. And it just makes it that much easier for them to defend and that much harder for us to execute.
Right. So obviously it's going to be about who's going to step up. I mean, you got a few different options, and I know we experimented with it the last two matches, but what are you hoping to see from a Maddie, a Perry, whoever is in that spot that can kind of do their best to fill what Tessa gave us?
I mean, we say it year after year, consistency. I mean, you just got to be able to show that you are going to provide X, whatever that variable is, and like, I am going to give this. And then we can work around everywhere else to see where we have to kind of supplement or add to that. But what can you bring to the table, and what can you do on a consistent basis so that we can work around it?
Also want to get a couple thoughts on Simone, milestone for her, 1,000 career digs. She had a couple before she got to Northwestern, but the vast majority have been here as a Demon. Obviously, we've talked about before this year, not the defensive crazy numbers that she's put up last year, but still that consistent presence in that back row and doing her job. And like I said, anytime you reach 1,000 digs, it's a pretty impressive thing.
It is. I mean, it is a difficult thing for an outside to do, and so it's a great milestone to reach. Everyone should be proud about that. And like you said, she hasn't been putting up the crazy numbers, the libero type numbers that she did last year, but throughout the year she increases to get better and better and better, and we've had glimpses of that. And it continues to get better. So fully expect that there may be a match here and there that she does blow up and get 20 or 30 digs, just because we know that that's what she's capable of doing. And it's just been a big part of what we have come to expect and appreciate to allow us to be successful.
Moving into this week, like I said, opportunity to sort of get back on track a little bit against New Orleans and Nicholls, two teams we played already once. We had some success against with a couple of sweeps, but anytime you're playing the team for the second time of the year, it's totally different team. Obviously, we're dealing with some injuries, so expectations as we move into this week of matches.
Well, somewhat similar to what we said the first time we played them is just when some teams aren't having some success, that their lineups are going to change because they're just trying to figure out what works. And then more so in the second half, they're going to most likely have some injuries, whether it's just kind of a nagging injury or something acute. So there could be some changes there. That's the problem. Not knowing what you're going to be up against, it just presents an unknown that it's hard to prepare for from a scout standpoint. But as it stands right now, it's going to be more so what we figure out on our side of the net, just to be able to find a consistent lineup that we know we can count on. And that's going to be our biggest challenge, but we have the challenge of not knowing exactly what we're going to be up against on the court on the other side of the net.
Right, and I remember back, when we played at New Orleans, scrappy team.
Oh, yeah.
And you know that they're going to bring that once again on Thursday.
Absolutely. They serve tough, they're scrappy, they keep plays alive, then it's going to be up to us to put it away, which you said at times has not been our forte. We do it in spurts. There's been times where we look fantastic offensively, and then some times where it's like, all right, now it matters, and it's just a matter of making that happen.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck. If I didn't mention one here Thursday on the road at Nicholls, and back to work immediately on next Tuesday. So a lot of matches in a short amount of time. So thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks.